Welcome back to this channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to talk about XDTE, RDTE, and QDTE, and the rolling of the longer dated calls on XDTE. And we'll give you the predictions for not this week, but next week's distributions. If that's what you're looking for, stick around. So my name's Brad. I've retired now for a little while, and now I'm just doing the predictions of Roundhill and XDTE, QDTE, RDTE. So let's look at what I predicted for this week on Friday. Last week, I predicted 20 cents, 23, 19, well, 20.89. And it comes in at 21, 23, and 19. Pretty good. They are only paying you the premiums. So somebody's asked me recently, how do I come up with these numbers? And I'm going to link a video where I actually walk you through coming up with those numbers, so you can go watch that if you want to. I do go download all the calls every day off the website using intraday trades. That's all I'm doing. And then I put it into a spreadsheet and it kicks out the data for me with a couple equations. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of this. Last week, they did a pretty good job. They did a really good job on XDTE. Nothing went through the strike. And when you see that, you're going to get a bigger gap on total returns. Now, another thing that I'll point out is I've been watching the gap ups like this morning. This morning was very flat. There wasn't even hardly any gap whatsoever. So that's something to keep in mind when we're dealing with 0DTE options. So looking at XDTE and the amount of strikes, what you're seeing is we went from 693 to 681. You're seeing a reduction in the amount of strikes that they're being able to write. And that's not alarming, but you at least have to know that's going on. And you're also seeing share count go down. That's why I'm showing last week's and this week so far. Now, QDTE, we see again, nothing went through the strike. We did just fine. You're going to see a bigger gap up, and that's gap up in total returns, and everything looks good. Now the share count is staying even, and you're seeing they're going to pay you about 24 cents next week. RDTE, well, RDTE's been very stable with their calls. The amount of calls that they're doing, 729. Today's was 727, but on RDTE, they had 2 calls go through the strike last week. They actually didn't make any money, but they're still going to pay you that 1.3 million, which is 32 cents. So you're going to start seeing a little more gap between the Russell and RDTE. And that's what I keep on trying to explain to people. You know, take it as it is. You're going to like it. They're going to give good distributions. It's going to help the total returns, because in the end of the day, you're really looking at total returns. If you're looking at price stabilization and you want a positive NAV, well, you are probably looking at the wrong funds. That's okay. You can always add a little back in, but that's up to you and how you want to invest, not how I want to invest. And that is totally up to you. So at the end of the day, April 4th, what are they going to pay? XDTE should be right around that 27 cents. QDTE, 24, 25 cents. And RDTE, right around that 32, 33 cent range. That is on April 4th. So another Friday from now. So way to go. And I still have my test going on against Yield Max, against Roundhill. And just to let you know, Roundhill is actually leading. There you go. Good job, Roundhill. But that's okay. We're just going to continue to move on. Now, total of the video, XDTE not rolling the calls. So when I looked at the calls today, I went, wait a second. What is this? I don't see any calls going out till March of 2026. I see that for QDTE, but not XDTE. It is just something that we need to keep in monitoring. That's right. It's only something we should monitor. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but obviously their website doesn't have any calls right now for the month of March 2026. And not that it's over concerning, but it's just something that you should be aware of if you're an investor. Now, I took a quick snapshot this morning, looked at total returns. You can start seeing that, hey, you're starting to see that farther gap up on total returns on XDTE over top of SPY. And this is a 1-year chart, and it's been a little over a year now that XDT's been out, and you can start seeing there's a bigger and bigger gap, and that is very good. Now, on price, you can see the price is down, and it's going to be down. And the way that they have to do things, and it's all mechanics, it's going to be down. But I went ahead and did a test. This week's test, I am going to withdraw 13%, 13.2 on an annual basis, 1.1% per month. And you will see that XDTE is doing better than SPY and is in positive territory. So you could at least pull out 13%. Now, I also ran this against my favorite is T-SPY because they hold the underlyings. And you can see right now, XDTE is doing slightly better than T-SPY, but that is just a matter of time because in all actuality, XDTE goes through the strike price about 15% of the time, and about 5% of the time, you're going to see T-SPY having to roll their calls. So this gives you where they are on the risk factor. I want to take a little less risk, still get my 8%, a little bit of capital gains. But hey, at the end of the day, if you're looking at for something that last year could have pulled 13% and you would have been just fine, XDTE was the winner. So keep that in mind. And until next time, God bless.